And then when he said that, I was like, oh, that's different. But I understand what he said, because I think the proposal was like 2 old drive-throughs.
Yeah.
Forward, because it's like this part of that Scotch, right in, right out.
It would be.
Turn left across.
Well, they don't have a left door.
They don't
It's
currently.
yeah, currently.
So
If I could ask everybody to take their seats and we will get started. I'd like to call the village board meeting for Tuesday, January 27th to order. Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Orth,
here.
Trustee Whitaker,
Here.
Trustee Fowler,
Here?
Trustee Gallen,
Here.
Trustee Yedis,
Here.
Trustee Elfman,
Here.
President Mendrick.
Here. The first order of business.
President
Oh,
Mendrick, I'm
yes,
sorry,
gosh,
before you
I'm
get
sorry.
started, I'd like to take a moment of silence to remember Police Officer Tom Schaefer, who served on the Northfield Police Department from 1988 to 2014, 26 years here, who unexpectedly passed away Saturday night. He touched a lot of the current and former employees who worked with the village and always made everybody smile and changed the room when he walked in. So I ask everybody for a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Whitaker, for that. We appreciate that. Okay, the next order of business is employee recognition. It's always a fun night for us when so many people are here to honor a fellow employee, but the village has recently introduced a new commendation and award program to honor employees whose performance exemplifies exceptional dedication, professionalism, and service to the community. Staff was encouraged to nominate colleagues they believe deserving of this honor, and at the staff holiday party in December, awards were given to Tom Haynes for Meritorious Service Award and Chris Stanky for Distinguished Service Award. So they are not here this evening, but I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of those 2 awards. So good for them. Thank you. Now I would like our Fire Rescue Chief Burkowski to join us at the podium, and you have a recent promotion you'd like to talk about.
We do. Our newest lieutenant, Mike Talon. Mike completed the fire academy in 2003, became a paramedic graduating from Northwest Community Hospital, which I went there just a mere 25 years prior to him. He started with Northfield in 21, became an acting officer last year. Mike's full-time job is with Glencoe as a police officer and a firefighter, promoted there to lieutenant in 2016. Mike has a long and distinguished career history with public service. I would be remiss if I didn't mention his military career. Mike was a Marine in 2004 with deployment to Iraq that led over 50 successful convoys as a commander. He was also assigned to the military police Y in Iraq. Mike, thank you for your military service. That's very honorable, and for keeping us safe. Congratulations to Mike on my first promotion, which I'm very excited about, and I think he's going to be an excellent lieutenant, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank
Chief,
you.
if you'd be willing to bring Lieutenant Talon up and the board so we can take a picture?
Gotta get close, guys.
Perfect, thank you. And if I could get all fire staff outside in the lobby.
First time in a while, you're not recognized. Yeah, exactly. I get a little break this time.
The next order of business is the village president's report, and tonight we're going a little off script because the Park District is here to provide some informational presentation to all of us and anyone who might be watching about their referendum coming up. So we have Bridget Kennedy, who is the Park Board President, and Bill Byron, who is their Executive Director. Correct. Okay. Here to give us a short presentation. So please, come on up.
Thank you. I think I know everybody up here, so this is kind of fun. Nice to see everybody in a different setting. So I just, as Tracy said, I'm Bridget Kennedy. I'm the president of the Park District Board. We've got Bill Byron here with us. And we just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for giving us this platform to speak about the Park District referendum. As I think most of you know, we went for referendum last year. We missed by 32 votes, so less than 2%. One of the things that we heard, the feedback we heard from residents, was that they either didn't know that it was on the ballot or they didn't know enough about it to vote yes. So we've made a very conscientious effort this last year to be at community events, to talk to residents and explain what the referendum is and how it affects them. So we really appreciate you giving us this opportunity so that we can talk to you guys, and people who are watching at home or in the audience who are in the Northfield Park District can find out more about what this is. So Northfield Park District, we are rooted in community, growing for tomorrow. So at the Park District, we believe our parks are more than just places on a map. We have Willow Park, Clarkson Park, the Community Center, and Fox Meadow Park. So taken together, they're the heartbeat of our community and make residents feel a part of something bigger than themselves. When we strengthen these shared spaces, we strengthen the roots of our community today and for generations to come. An investment in our parks is an investment in your home. Our parks and programs not only bring people together, but they also enhance property values. Data from the National Parks and Recreation Association shows that an addition of local parks can increase property value up to 10%. The bond between our parks and community relies on our shared growth. To support sustainable growth and implement the comprehensive master plan, the Park District is going to be asking residents to vote on a referendum during the March 2026 election. So, what will a referendum fund? A limiting rate referendum would support every aspect of the Park District. That includes, but is not limited to, our Executive 2023 Master Plan projects. It would strengthen ongoing maintenance, and it would increase Park District's growth capacity. So taking those one by one. We got the Executive 2023 Master Plan. So as most of you know, we are working on a new Northside Pocket Park. We're expecting this cost to be about $600,000. It will have a playground, bike repair station, benches, new plantings, and a woodland overlook. And as the village knows, we were able to receive this land in an intergovernmental cooperation with the village of Northfield. The land is leased for the next 30 years at the total cost of $10. And I think we all know that's a really good deal. So, adding a pocket park will be giving residents on the north side something to walk to over by their neighborhood, and it would be a connection to the future Skokie Valley Trail. So we're excited about this, but I do want to give a brief update on this project. I think it was mentioned at the Committee of the Whole meeting that unfortunately we learned that we were not awarded the state grant that we went for and would have covered 50% of the project cost. And while our Parks Foundation has successfully raised about $150,000 toward the park, we currently do not have sufficient funds to move forward. This project is a strong example of how additional funds from the referendum would allow us to proceed as originally designed and envisioned for the community. We also are talking about a community center expansion. This is a $2 to $3 million project. It would add indoor space for summer camps and growing youth programs. We'd add about 3,000 square feet, adding community meeting and flex space, and replace the roof and address aging infrastructure. This really grows from the strong demand of our programs. Summer camp participation has increased 38% since 2021. We served just about 800 kids last year in summer camp. We now welcome about 90 children each day in our before and after school programs, which provide essential support to our families. As a result, our indoor space has become increasingly cramped and no longer adequately meets the needs of our younger participants. I don't know if anybody here has been to the Park District when summer camp is going on and it's raining, but it can get real tight inside. So we need some more space. We also are talking about the Willow Park restrooms and maintenance facility improvements. We expect this to be a $2.5 to $3.5 million project. It would add outdoor restrooms for park users. It would add heat and water to the maintenance facility, and it would strengthen ongoing maintenance. One of the most requested improvements in the master plan was the addition of outdoor restrooms at Willow Park. Willow Park serves about 2,000 people each week, from athletes to their families, to pickleball and tennis players, park walkers and dog walkers. Currently, the only restrooms are located inside the community center. Adding heat and water to the maintenance building would significantly improve how we care for and store the equipment used across all of our parks. I was very shocked to find out that we don't have running water or heat in the maintenance facility. It's 2026. And what the Park District has been doing is taking a hose from the community center and bringing it to the maintenance building, which is just shocking. Access to water and sewer in the garage would make it much easier to properly clean and maintain our equipment, which would extend the lifespan and reduce long-term replacement costs. Heat is equally important, especially on days like today. Right now, we have to take extra steps each winter to protect equipment from freezing temperatures. Many components, such as batteries, pumps, and fluids, are especially vulnerable to the cold. Winter should be our opportunity to focus on preventative maintenance, but without heat and water, our options are limited. Instead, we are forced to fully winterize equipment in December to prevent damage and then bring it back into service in March, rather than using the downtime to perform meaningful maintenance projects. So, talking about maintenance, we would strengthen our ongoing maintenance. We made this slide because I think it's important for residents to understand what the cost of some of this stuff is. Beyond capital projects, this is our moment to enhance maintenance to meet the growing demands of our community by taking the current places and spaces we love to the next level. So court repairs, you're looking at about $70,000. PIP surface replacement, that stands for poured in place. That's the rubber matting on the bottom of Clarkson Park. When we did Clarkson Park, was that 5 years ago? Just about. The cost of that was $200,000. The lifespan of poured in place is about 10 years. We have started to look in, we're at, about halfway there. They're now quoting $400,000 to replace that. Natural areas maintenance is about $30,000 a year. Baseball field renovation is about $15,000 a year. And the outdoor ice rink, we pay about $5,000 a year in water. So, we want to increase the Park District's growth capacity as well. So looking ahead, a successful referendum will enable us to broaden our offerings and respond to the changing needs of our community. This would include acquiring land for new parks and green spaces and expand program services and events. Regarding land acquisition, the topic of the dog park is a good example here. When we talk about this, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the dog park. It's actually not a dog park. It is a off-leash dog ordinance that we have. It's not a dog park because we cannot enclose it due to the floodplain. The floodway of the river prevents us from fully enclosing that space, but if we had additional funding from the referendum, we could try and identify and pursue a better option for a fully enclosed dog park. And when it comes to programs and events, the referendum would allow us to try new ideas without worrying as much about breaking even right away. Right now, program revenue is critical to supporting our overall operations, which makes it hard for us to take risks or pilot something new. Market and music is a good example. In 2018, we added 8 summer concerts to our lineup, which had been a huge win for the community. I think everybody enjoys it. but it originally came with about a $20,000 annual loss until we secured sponsors and village support to keep it going. In our current financial situation, taking on that kind of risk is difficult. When residents ask us for new opportunities, we want to be able to say yes. So, bottom line, how would this referendum affect your property taxes? We feel this is a small increase with a big impact. A 0.1% tax increase means about $30 per $100,000 of property value, or about $300 for a $1 million home. This would sustain Northfield's position in the lower half of surrounding Park District tax rates. So you'll see to the left where we currently are and where we would like to be. So that's my presentation. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen and giving us this platform, as I said. Of course, we're not going to take questions or anything, but if residents do have questions, we are having our final info night on Monday, February 23rd at the Park District at 6 o'clock? I'm sorry, yeah, at the Community Center of the Park District. And if anybody has questions before then, please reach out to me, reach out to Bill. Our website has a button that has information on the referendum. The Park District, or I'm sorry, the Parks Foundation also has information on their website. We're very accessible. We would love to talk to residents and get the word out. So thank you, guys. Yep, thank you.
Thank you very much, Bridget and Bill, for being here this evening. Okay, the next little piece of business I wanted to talk about in my president's report is that you've heard me talk about from this position of enhancing the tools for public outreach in our community, and many of you may have noticed a new email distribution service. You may have gotten a new email from us that included the January, February newsletter. We've gone to a new system thanks to Patrick and primarily Melissa Jewett for researching and doing the creative behind this, but it allows us to have more readable message, including graphics, and just a better viewing experience for our residents. And we've gotten to this point by cross-linking our utility bills with the current list we have. So you'll see that like as an example, the November-December newsletter went to a little over 1,000 email addresses that we just have had over years that we've collected from residents. Adding the water billing database on January 1st gave us almost another 1,400 email addresses. So you'll see that we now have a general distribution list of almost 2,500 residents. And we think this is important not for just, the newsletter, but as an example for any sort of water boil issue or weather warning. That was another place we've used it in the last couple of weeks. So I am excited. We're getting there. We know we still have work to do with condo associations because most of them have an HOA that pays their water bill, so we haven't collected everyone's email addresses, but I would say that we have made great strides in a few months to really be able to talk to our residents when we need to. Couple other lists here, and I'll show you in the next slide, a business distribution list, which we encourage, if you're not already on it and you're a business in the community, to make sure that you sign up for it. Back a few years ago, we created a Hap Road project distribution list that still exists that we can continue to use. And then in response to concerns from residents about meeting dates and meeting agendas, we've added a separate list that just gives you village meeting information, which you can sign up for if you would like. So the next little thing I wanted to just show you in here was the, again, example of the January, February newsletter. This is, in the middle slide, is the new business newsletter. Pam, did you get it?
I was very impressed.
Thank you. Great.
Very, very much.
That was Patrick's brainchild and Steve together to continue to have a way to interact with our businesses on a more regular basis. And then there's the board meeting update list. But what this new system does is it gives us some analytics around the communications that we are doing with residents. You'll see that we sent 2,488 emails. The open rate was just over 70%, which is great. The click rate is, I think, a really important measurement that maybe not everyone understands, but that is once you've opened the email, then you actually click on a link, a hot link in the email. So you've gone from the email to the village website or to another link that gives you more information. Email marketing will tell you that 8% is a good click rate, so we're thrilled at 17% in our first one. Some other interesting information that you get from this is, interestingly, and Melissa pointed this out, that the open rate percentage came from desktops and not mobile devices. 63% from desktops, which I found that to be very interesting. Only 717 people didn't open the email. So I think these are, I'm sort of a geek on these kinds of stats for communications, so I really appreciate that we now have a way to do that. And only 5 people unsubscribed. So maybe they moved out of the village. Let's just say that 5 people moved out and they don't want to keep track anymore. But anyway, we'll continue to use these analytics to inform decisions we make. We're not going to be flooding your email inboxes, but we want really for people to have a way to know they are going to get communications from us. And our famous QR code, which is everywhere, sign up to be on one or all of the lists, and so that we can continue to keep in touch with you. Then I wanted to also share some statistics on our meeting videos and the viewing of those day of, and anybody who goes back to those YouTube videos over time. So you'll see that on average we have 4 or 5 people watching our meetings live at any given time. And dependent on the topic, I'm guessing, I didn't go back and look at what we discussed on June 17th to see why so many people went back and viewed that one, but you can see ranging, mid-40s to mid-50s of viewing after the fact of our meeting dates and topics. So I just wanted to give you that update from my perspective. Anybody have any questions about that?
Just a quick question. What is an average live view? Why is
Sorry.
it an average?
Because it's a call listing.
We'll view for a little bit and see something that they want, and then they'll hop off.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, we need to update that first slide that says 5721, it's 5751. And it's actually higher than that, but that's the census correction from when we redid the census. But they also didn't include a certain area, so actually the population is actually much higher than that by about 80-something people. So it's 5751.
Well, we'll assume that those 30 people are newborns and haven't gotten an email address yet, but we are doing our best, so thank you. Okay, we've arrived at the section of the meeting where we have public comment. If there's anybody who would like to address the board on any issues of the village, please come to the podium, state your name and address. And anyone?
I'll speak into the mic. Everybody remember to do that, because we couldn't hear some of you. Chaya Rubenstein, 315 Linder Avenue. I'm speaking for the League of Women Voters of Winnetka, Northfield, Kenilworth. I would like to thank Village Manager Brennan and President Mendrick for attending and speaking at our State of the Villages tea, which was really wonderful, and tell people what great food they missed. And also Trustee Galen and Trustee Orth came and did meet and greet with the public and talk to everybody. And it was such a good talk that we finally made the trib local. And there was a full-page article on page 4. And so we truly made the Winnetka talk instead of, well, as you see here, what's on the cover, Evanston again. But most of Winnetka talk is from the other suburbs. But we did make a full page, and there's a great picture of Patrick in here. And if you haven't seen it, I'll pass this around. But I need to get it back. And
My mom will love to have this, thank you.
You have to give it back, she said.
we'll get you more because, yes, Pam DeFiglio, who's the news editor of the Trib Local, we finally got in touch with her. And she actually, the person who covered this was an intern from Northwestern, Medill. So,
We
and
met
he
her
did
that day.
a great job and brought his camera and everything. So often people don't do that. So thank you very much for attending. And next year, everybody come. I think we had the biggest turnout since I've joined the league in 2016, 10 years. We had 60 or 70 people because not every person was counted. And it was because of you, all of you talking. Thank you so much. And thanks to people in the community who came. We really appreciate it. This is a very important event, Thursday, February 12th. Glenview League is spearheading the 9th Illinois Senate District Candidates Forum. It's going to be on Thursday, February 12th. The doors open at 7 p.m. I don't think you have to register, but you can go to our website at lwv-wnk.org and check and see if you have to register. I don't think you do. The auditorium is really large at GPL, and the forum starts at 7:30. It's to 8:30, and then you get to meet and greet the candidates, 8:30 to 8:50 p.m. And the candidates are our former New Trier Township Democratic Chairman, Patrick Hanley, and I think she's the current Evanston Township Democratic Chairperson, Rebecca Ruttenberg. And this is just a primary. There's only a primary in the Democrats. So we're just having candidates formed for the primaries for any party that's being primaried. The big one, the Jan Schakowsky's Congressional District 9. This is the big one, and it's a disappointment. Unfortunately, so far League is not having a forum. There are so many candidates, and the person was doing this, the big league, Evanston, the person who was going to do this cannot do it, and she's been ill. So there are candidates forums all over the place. We missed a couple. There was one from West Ridge. There was another one last week. You can look online and see, and you can get a link, and you could probably see it on YouTube or online if you want to see the candidates for the Congressional District 9. Congressional District 10, and some of us are in that. I'm in that. That is Congressman Brad Schneider right now. He is being primaried. Another league is going to set up a candidates forum, so we'll keep you posted. As I said, keep going to lwv-wnk.org, and we have all the news on there. Vote 411 is on there, and it has all the information about when the primaries are, when early voting starts, when you have to register for vote by mail, and all of the deadlines. Let's see. Illinois District 57. Some of us are in that for the House, Illinois House. Stay tuned on that one. I think that's a primary also. Look at Ballotpedia if you want to read more about candidates. If you're interested in judges, the best place to really look at and see everything, all of the bar associations, everything, injusticewatch.org. If you haven't looked at it before, it's a great area to look at all of that. Save the dates. This is a little in the future, and I'll be sending it to Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for sending me the deadline, reminding me again. I just got your
Sorry,
email today.
Kaya, I don't mean to be rude, but your 4 minutes.
Oh,
if you would
I'm
just
sorry.
Pick it up just a little bit for us.
Okay, very quickly, save the date, 4/29 or 4/30, we are having Arnie Duncan speak and CRED about preventing violence. And some of the CRED youth are speaking, and that will be a really good program. So thank you very much, and I'm sorry I took so long.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. And Kaya, here's your, you want to pass that back down to her? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of bills and disbursements for November and December of 2025. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the bills and disbursements.
And a second?
Second.
Andrew. Patrick, anything you want to highlight?
Sure, just a couple of items. I believe it's something that we picked up on a little bit last month. On page 5 and 5.7 of your packet, you've got bond payments. Page 5 was $200,000. Page 7 was $679,000. These are the typical December principal and interest payments on your bonds that you see listed. Also on page 11, you've got a payment to Gewalt Hamilton for $228,000 for sidewalk repairs. It was the Bosworth sidewalk project. We actually caught this as the cover sheet was from Gewalt, but the payment's actually supposed to go to ALAMP. So you see on page 23, we voided the check to Gewalt and made payments to ALAMP. So please don't think that the sidewalk project was $456,000. It was actually something we caught before the things got out of hand on the payment to Gewalt. And that's all I'd like to point out.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the board? Any comments or questions from the public? Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Orth?
Yes.
Trustee Whitaker?
Yes.
Trustee Fowler?
Yes.
Trustee Gallant?
Yes.
Trustee Yedis?
Yes.
Trustee Elfman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is the omnibus vote and the consent agenda, consent items. This is the section of the agenda where one vote can be called to approve a number of items. Are there any items that any board member would like to remove from the consent agenda for discussion? Nope. Okay, hearing none. Deputy Clerk, please read the consent agenda items into the record.
There are 6 items under this consent agenda. The first is the approval of the minutes from December 2nd, 2025. The second is the adoption of an ordinance authorizing an indemnification agreement with Cook County. The third is the approval of a resolution to appoint delegates and alternate delegates to the Northeastern Illinois Public Safety Training Academy. The fourth is the adoption of an ordinance declaring property surplus and authorizing the disposal thereof. The fifth is the approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Winnetka for fire training, tower usage, and maintenance. And the final 6th one is the authorization to purchase a replacement Ford F-350 and utility box through Lenco Equipment Sales of Maryville, Indiana, in the estimated amount of $75,600.
I think that item number 5 you omitted, Deputy Clerk. I'm not sure. Could you just read that one to make sure?
Sorry about that. The approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the...
No. Adoption of an ordinance declaring, did we do that? Yeah. Okay, we got them all. Okay, great. Okay. May I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board?
I do have one question on the intergovernmental agreement with Winnetka for the fire tower. Is that a kind of normal range of what that costs for that agreement? Just more out of
Chief, are you comfortable?
curiosity.
So the agreement is for the continued maintenance, and
Yep.
it's being split between, I think, 3 municipalities who are sharing the tower. Those fire-rated panels are really expensive.
Okay.
So this will get us through a 3-year period.
Okay, and that's kind of what it's cost over, in the past, it was similar cost for all that. Okay. That's
Absolutely.
more what I was wondering
Yeah.
than anything else. And then the other one I had for Patrick, just quickly, the deal with Cook County. As everybody knows, I want our on-ramps and off-ramps cleaned up and all of that, but that's IDOT. We'd have to have an agreement with IDOT to really clean up like that Willow Road, Cloverleaf area, right? So this would not include that side of it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
We will occasionally kind of dive over the border just a little bit into IDOT's area, but to go into Cloverleaf and some of those areas, we would have to work something out with them directly.
I'm gonna go start picking weeds myself off the sidewalk.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? All right, Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Orth?
Yes.
Trustee Whitaker?
Yes.
Trustee Fowler?
Yes.
Trustee Gallen?
Yes.
Trustee Yedis?
Yes.
Trustee Elfman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 8 is the authorization to execute an agreement with White and Company of Darien, Illinois for Orchard Lane parking lot design services in the estimated amount of $34,000. May I have a motion, please? So moved. Second?
Second.
Okay, Patrick, want to give us a little background on this one?
Happy to. This is a project we've been working on, gosh, the village-wide since 2022 or 23. And that's this parcel of land that's actually owned by Cook County, but is a vestige of the Edens. So when the parcel transferred to Cook County from the state put a criteria in that said they get right of first refusal on the use of the parcel. So for a number of years, we've been working on getting the county's, I'll call it a no objection to the use of that lot for our parking lot. We finally achieved that. The board, we had discussed not putting funds in the budget to do this project until we knew we'd be able to get something moving. So we put an RFP out, request for proposals, received a number of responses, and White and Company is, in my opinion, the lowest responsible proposer in cost. They were offered the lowest price, and they've done a number of porous paver parking lots, which is what this parking lot is proposed to be to meet the IDOT requirements.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board?
Just one question. I know we brought it up at one of the committee of the whole discussions prior, but have the adjacent property owners already been kind of solicited about their opinions? Where do we stand with that?
Yes, I met with each of the representatives for the two adjacent property owners. Both were very supportive of our effort to put a parking lot there and agreed to participate in the master plan process, at least to the point till we find out of how much it may cost for them. They are definitely interested in learning about what we can do to jointly stripe that lot.
Great. Thank you.
Anyone else?
The pavers themselves, just more out of curiosity, because of how they're set up, snow plows, all those types of things. I mean, long-term, is there kind of a warranty set up, or what's kind of the deal as far as if they get all jumbled? And I have family that lives over in Wilmette, and I've seen what those pavers can look like when they go crazy.
Sure. So what you'll often hear is called the cage in Wilmette.
Yep.
Are
They're all
100-plus-year-old brick roadways. In Kenilworth, we put in porous pavers on 3 streets, and they're performing very well. The pavers themselves have a very long warranty on them. I can't remember the number of years, but it's sufficient. But what really starts to fail is the settling of the pavers, getting them nicked by a snowplow. So if this lot does get built, we've got the specifications of what we used in Kenilworth, and I will ask them to spec what we call interlocking pavers. So instead of just a brick with holes in the side, I'll ask for the L-shaped pavers that actually interlock. So if the base settles a little bit, it's locked into the one next to it, and it's a lot harder for it to rotate out or be caught by a snowplow.
Yeah, and then they'll just last longer. It'll be a nicer parking lot longer.
They will. I don't know if any of you have been out to the Morton Arboretum, but their parking lot has been in for, boy, probably 15 years, and it's porous paver. It performs well.
Okay, any comments or questions from the public on this matter? Okay, Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Orth?
Yes.
Trustee Whitaker?
Yes.
Trustee Fowler?
Yes.
Trustee Gallen?
Yes.
Trustee Yedis?
Yes.
Trustee Elfman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of amendment to the Safe Built Professional Services Agreement. May I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Steve, you going to cue this up for us, please?
You bet, you bet.
Thank you.
Since 2021, we have contracted various building department services to a company called Safe Built Illinois. We work under a base contract with them. It extends itself every year. And it is a monthly, essentially we have, both parties have the ability to end the contract within 30 days' notice. They have not raised their hourly rates for that entire 5 years, and they would like to raise those rates now. And we had negotiated with them about that, and they also currently, in our current contract with them, they have a 24-hour minimum that they charge us for the hourly rates. And we frankly rarely even get close to using those 24 hours. We had originally thought that we would, but we do not. So what we did is negotiated the elimination of that minimum 24 hours in exchange for the new hourly rates, which we've outlined in my memo. There are no other changes to the base agreement, just the rate table essentially. So with that, staff would recommend approval of the contract, the amendment to that contract.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Orth?
Yes.
Trustee Whitaker?
Yes.
Trustee Fowler?
Yes.
Trustee Gallen?
Yes.
Trustee Yedis?
Yes.
Trustee Elfman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 10 is the authorization to place an order for a replacement ambulance from Foster Coach Sales of Sterling, Illinois in the amount of $480,000. May I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve proudly.
Second.
Chief Burkowski, fill us in.
Sure. So our frontline ambulance is a 2016 Horton. The typical lifespan for a frontline ambulance is 10 to 12 years. This one was designed with the committee. We did some kind of neat features. Right now, when you walk in our door, you go right into the ambulance and there's no outside compartment. We're moving the door back a little bit. Thank you. We're moving the door back a little bit and putting all our ALS equipment in the cabinet so it can be accessed from the outside, so it just saves some time when we're on a call. Privacy windows, improved suspension for smoother transport, as well as we're going to a gasoline engine versus a diesel, which is probably better for the short runs that we're on. The downside in the world today is these ambulances and fire engines in particular are taking somewhere between 2 to 2.5 years in production, which is frustrating. And all the departments are dealing with this now. So it's critical that we order this. And then what I'm hoping for is to take our current frontline ambulance, and we'll make that a reserve, so we have a backup ambulance in case of maintenance, special events, and other uses, and I'd feel a whole lot better. So we're hopefully get this ambulance ordered, and like I said, it's about 2 to 2.5 year production.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the board?
The timing's not the shocker, it's the price tag.
Compared to, yeah.
They were $150,000 before COVID.
Yeah.
And delivery time was a year. But thank you for diving right in.
Well, I think,
And Johnny Ricky, Lieutenant Ricky, the mechanic who takes care of all of our equipment, and Deputy Chief Burke, and
yeah, everyone had input into it, and I feel very good about the, you can see the specs in the package here, and we spent a lot of time on it.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chief.
Anyone else? Any comments or questions from the public? Wait, I'm sorry, Pam, what?
If you don't mind, let them finish the vote on this one, and then we can take on 8. If you don't mind, let them finish the vote on this one.
Okay. Okay, Deputy Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Orth?
Yes.
Trustee Whitaker?
Yes.
Trustee Fowler?
Yes.
Trustee Gallen?
Yes.
Trustee Yetis?
Yes.
Trustee Elfman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay.
And President Benedict, if I may, you don't often get an opportunity to have John Ricky in the room. John is our fleet manager, and he takes care of all of our equipment. So you heard tonight, we've got an ambulance that's approaching 10 years old. We don't have a reserve ambulance, and the importance of keeping that ambulance in service is huge. And John Ricky does an amazing job not only fixing what's broken, but looking at what may break and being ready for it. And additionally, we just went through pretty much a 24-hour period of snow in extreme cold temperatures. Behind the scenes is John Ricky and his team, ensuring that those snowplows run, the trip edges are fixed, and we don't have equipment down and can't address our streets. So John, I just want to say thank you for everything you do for the village.
Thanks, John.
Okay, before we go on, Pam, what was your question?
I wanted to, sorry. Pam Papadatto, 1757 Orchard Lane. I wanted just to ask a question. I know I briefly mentioned it to you, Patrick, at our HAP Road Committee meeting. Regarding the design services for the Orchard Lane parking, the concern is about the water, the drainage in between my building and the building just to the east of me. And I had mentioned, will it correct the problem or may it create a bigger problem? Because as we've discussed before, when it rains, there's nowhere really for that water to go. It may stand out there for 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on how much rain we get. So if we do create a parking and don't correct that problem, you literally need to wear boots to be able to walk through. We can have anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of water back there. Not to mention it comes onto my parking, and if we park tandem, we can't get out of our car unless we're wearing, I don't know, tall boots. So is this something, this in the design where is there engineering that they're gonna look at drainage, or what? Is this too early in the game to talk about this?
It's a little early. It's good to
Okay.
know about it. When it's warm, show me where the problem is, and I'll keep that in mind as we start design. They've already done topographic surveys, which shows us the contours of the land, and there's a fair amount of water that actually comes from the Eden's Ramp and flows south. And the porous paver area will pick that up, but you may be getting contributing sources from other areas that I'm happy to look at.
So Public Works has been out there many times trying to assist, but they said they're not allowed to, they try to pitch the water, but they're not allowed to have that water go on to that property because maybe, I thought it was IDOT at the time, but maybe it is county right now that owns that property.
We're not supposed to change the natural flow of water without going through a process. But as
Okay.
we start the design work, we'd be happy to look at it and see what we can do.
Okay, I do have videos of the water I can show you too. All right, thank you.
We'll all wish for days when we have rain and not freezing cold and snow. So, next order of business is our trustee liaison reports, and I'm going to start with Tom Whitaker, but first I want to recognize Tom for once again being voted by his peers to serve another year as president of Red Center. So congratulations. Is that now 3 in a row?
3 in a row. 3 strikes and I'm out.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But we appreciate all you do out there and keeping us up to date on everything that's happening. And do you have any other reports you'd like to make?
We have had a couple of towns leave red, but the organization has been able to adapt to the loss of them due to losing employees. So it's working out. There's a lot of potential ideas for growth in the organization that we're exploring, but it's been a pretty busy time. Budget just got approved. Chief Burkowski and I we're part of the budget subcommittee, and we're happy with the way things are going. And I think as a board, we've had some hard discussions because towns are looking to maybe go in other directions. And I think the piece that I would like to stress to our board is there's your Chevy service and Cadillac service. And the service that Red Center provides, and Chief, if you think I'm off or you agree, we're getting Cadillac service for the residents of our community when they get switched to Red Center for a medical or fire emergency. And I can tell you the times that I've called Red, before I was even on the committee or on the board, it's amazing. And being chair of that, I'm proud of, but I also feel like we need our boards to realize what we're getting as a service. And I know President Mendrick and Patrick went with us, went out for a visit at Red and got to see how things happen. So anybody on this board wants to go for a visit, let me know. It's really cool because one of you guys probably will be taking over my spot in the next year. But I think to see what they're providing our residents is amazing. And for anybody who's watching, I think the key is one of the complaints is when you call 911 in Northfield, we go to Glenview Dispatch. Glenview Dispatch deciphers what kind of call it is, and the call will either stay at Glenview for police or it gets transferred to Red Center in Northbrook. Now, why don't we have police and fire together at Glenview? Because we want our residents to have the best dispatch, EMS fire. Well, what about the delay in switching calls? If you call a consolidated dispatch center, your call is still going to be transferred from the call taker to the police or to the fire. So there's still going to be somewhat of a delay. We're working on a computer-aided dispatch where the computers talk to each other, and there's still a delay. But we are providing the best service, in my opinion, to our residents of Northfield. With that, Go Green. President Mendrick asked me to meet with Go Green since I had in the past. Patrick and I met with Ann Peterson, who runs Go Green Northfield. Had a really constructive conversation about things that we can do, and really the lowest dollar for the biggest bang for the lowest dollar is really where we're at right now. And I think that Patrick and I had some ideas, and I think we need to follow up with Ann. But I will share with you tonight, when we talk about saving, not using water bottles, I filled my glass with the machine tonight, and that machine has saved 1,897 plastic bottles in the dump. So, little shout out, but yeah, everything else is great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Todd, anything?
Nothing material right now.
Okay.
We'll have stuff coming up.
Yeah, okay. Andrew?
All right, before I jump into my reports, I just want to say thank you to the Public Works Department who worked so hard overtime clearing our streets. I know when I drove around, I was thankful for that. I'm also very thankful for the ice rink at Clarkson Park. That is something that people drive by, and I'm at hockey rinks around the entire North Shore, and people say, I drove by and that place looks like heaven. And I'm so thankful that we have that with the lights reflecting off the ice and children out skating. I think it's fantastic. So I fully support that. I also fully support the schools. So I'll give you a quick report here. At New Trier, they're looking at long-term maintenance in the last part of the building that has not been redone, the parts from the 1930s and 50s, including the pool from the 1930s. So they're starting a process to look at that renovation. I'm actually in one of those areas at the school. And we are in the basement by the boilers still, but that might change by the time I retire. But they've also announced a new chief technology officer at New Trier that they just hired. So some changes there, and as technology becomes more and more integral with education, it looks like they've got good leadership. At Sunset Ridge, they continue to do great things. They were recognized once again for Blue Ribbon on a state level from Tammy Duckworth. But they continue to roll out more programs, and we're on a brief hiatus like we were as well. So that's it. I'll let Ed talk about Hap Road, and I'll chime in as needed. So thank you.
Ed, you want to go?
Well, I guess it's my turn. I'll do Zoning Board of Appeals first. At the recent meeting, they had 2 items come up. One was a generator on 423 Central. The other was house renovation expansion at 90 Meadowview. That's actually going to get pushed to the next meeting because of some variance setback issues that they want to go a little further into, so the architect's going to change the design a little bit. Next meeting will be February 4th. Don't miss it, general public. The other thing we have going on is the last Hap Road meeting. We're getting really close to giving the board some sort of product. Currently, and this is for everybody, the average 4 to 5 people watching live and those who will be watching it later, you will be getting a survey at some point from a residential side and from the business side. So if you're a business in town, you have a little bit different survey than what the residents will be receiving. We're going to have QR codes everywhere because we love us some QR codes here in the village. But we want as many people taking that survey as possible so we can get that back to the Hap Road Committee as we're putting the report together that will then come to the board. We're hoping to have those surveys really wrapped up 3rd week or so of February, which sets us up for probably the end of March meeting. Luckily, nothing happens in March from a village board standpoint outside of the budgeting process. So we'll hopefully have some folks talking at that time about what we've been working on, what we've come to. I will say thank you to everyone who's been part of that process. It's been a lot of meetings, but I think it's been very fruitful meetings because it's been discussion across the village. And there's some folks that have been involved in that process that haven't been involved in a lot of things so far, and I think it's really good to see some new voices from the community as part of it. So hopefully we'll have some good news here for the village board in the next month to 6 weeks. Andrew, Patrick, I don't know if there's anything I missed on that front. So it's been good meetings.
Yeah, I had a long conversation with Debbie Pappas, who's one of the co-chairs, as you guys know, and she said things were really moving along, and they really have March 24th circled on their calendars to be able to present to the board their findings. So we're looking forward to that.
It's been nice to see it. It was kind of slow at the beginning, but now it seems like we went from crawling to walking to kind of running at this point. So.
Good. Okay. Trustee Gallen?
I'm up. All right, Northwest Municipal Conference. They have completed their staff compensation evaluations for everybody other than the executive director, which I think happens in May for them. And they are also getting ready for the legislative days in Springfield, which I think takes place in April. And as part of that, they're going to have an effective lobbying presentation from Anderson Legislative Consulting as part of their February meeting, if anybody's interested. On the library, they've had 2 meetings since our last meeting, so they've done some stuff. They are going through their annual audit report, which is actually very similar to ours. And they received training from a consultant in preparation for their executive director evaluations. It's also a very similar process to what we do. So it was good to hear that, but it's a lot of the same things that we kind of already do. And then I think most relevant for the board, they've approved their agreement with the architecture firm for their portion of the library renovation project, and they had a kickoff meeting, I believe, last week with Patrick. If there's anything you want to tell us about, you can. But that's the news from them.
That kickoff meeting was pretty much a refresh of the space needs analysis that they had done previously to update our architects on what their goals are.
And then there's a sort of an intake meeting coming up. Yeah, to just look at what we would like it to look like from a facade perspective, right? Okay. Charlie?
First of all, I'd like to echo Trustee Whitaker's comments about Red Center. Red Center is clearly the premier dispatch center in the region. I've had the fine opportunity to work with them in many different capacities. I was actually working there when for Public Works in Northbrook when the building was built, and I've gotten to know all those fine people for a very long time, and they truly are the premier dispatch center in the region. So I'm very proud that we're still involved with them, and I know Chief Burkowski, they'll work very well with you, so I'm very proud of that. The architectural meeting did not meet last time. The next one is coming up, as we know, February 23rd. As far as the Avoca School Board stuff, we received in the mail to the people that live on the east side of town this wonderful flyer, just like you get from all the schools. And the Illinois Report Card, recently released Illinois Report Card affirms that we have known that Avoca Marie Murphy is an exemplary school. Students have shown academic performance well above expectations in reading, mathematics. Additionally, Marie Murphy School is recognized one of the top 20 middle schools in Illinois, officially ranked 17th by U.S. News World and Report. So we have 2 fine schools that our kids that live in Northfield get to go to. On the meeting that they had recently on January 15th, there was a policy manual customization process that was discussed and a strategic plan update for 2025-2026. The next meeting is this Thursday, so I'll be attending that. The Winnetka Park District, it was a Christmas miracle. Their meeting only basically went from on Thursday from 6 to 7:30. Typically goes sometimes, as our friend here, whose other colleague is their legal counsel, goes anywhere from 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. They did go into executive session after that, so it was refreshing not to be there the entire night. When I left my house, I said, I'll see you in the morning to my wife, because I figured I wouldn't be home in time before she went to bed, the way the meetings have been going at that location. So that's the Park District, that's the school, and that's it. As far as our wonderful centennial, I first of all want to thank our village manager, Melissa, Holly, everyone that worked on these nice little pins that we've gotten now. They're very cool. I said maybe we need to get rings with the same thing, but the village manager put that together. We are meeting again tomorrow, and we've moved up our meeting schedule to basically every other week. So Tracy and I and the committee are spending a lot of time together going through all these different things. We had a wonderful road show for the Chamber of Commerce, which covers Winnetka, Glencoe, and Northfield at the Senior Center last week, and they were very impressed with what we're doing. We did the slideshow. We're also looking at doing an event in May or June for the seniors at the Senior Center. We've also been asked to speak with the Winnetka Northfield Rotary coming up, and we're doing a lot of great things to get this done. Again, save the date, August 22nd. So, yeah,
We're getting asked back. It's a big deal. We've got at least 2 and maybe 3. Aren't we doing another garden club too?
We're doing a garden club. Yeah, I mean, it's become a road show. I mean, and I've been, as I came to the meeting tonight, I was reached out by St. Philip's. They want to be included in this centennial celebration, as do many other things. I think we'll be doing presentations to the schools. We've also got set up with the Northfield Living Magazine for articles for every month. They're looking for stuff, and Mary Rhodes is putting a lot of those together. Also, we're reaching out to all the other media sources to give them the information. We're planning to make this a wonderful event and trying to include as many people as we can, and we're getting a lot of outreach from different groups and organizations to be included and involved. We can't specifically ask for monies, but there are individuals and organizations that are approaching us for donations to sponsor different portions of this event. So it should be an awesome thing. Unfortunately, the only thing we can't control is the weather, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that August 22nd is nice. We're also looking at doing a birthday party, which I talked to Patrick about and I've talked to Tracy about, at our committee of the whole in October, because that's when we're officially 100 years old. So hopefully we can incorporate some little birthday party here from maybe 5:30 to 6:30, and then have our committee of the whole. So hopefully that can come off. And anybody any questions, or anybody that want to forward to us about this, but I think it's going really well, and it shows how well a group of us can work together and make this wonderful event come off and celebrate Northfield's past, present, and future.
And we can't forget Bill Byron from the Park District for all
Yes.
the hard work. I mean, the man he's amazing. I mean, he's done so many events, as we all know, but he's really chipped in and rolled up his sleeves for us. So we appreciate that too. Anything else, Charlie, or is that's it?
I think those were the areas that I covered.
Mr. Jones, anything from you?
No formal report tonight.
Okay.
President Mender. Thank you.
Anything from you, Patrick?
Just the monthly update on the former Mariano site. really not a lot has changed. We've had a number of conversations with the owner of the property as they're working through options. And I would say that the concept is still alive, and we're hoping to be having some conversations with Sunset Foods in the near future to see if we can continue to move that process forward. But as of yet, they still do not have a lease agreement, but where we can, we're inserting ourselves, trying to help both sides come to an agreement.
I just want to add, because I shop at Sunset now regularly. I have for a long time, but knowing some of the upper management as well as some of the family members will say that the village of Northfield and Patrick have been amazing to work with. So whatever happens is going to happen, and it's out of our hands, but I know that the effort that they've seen from the village as a whole has been noticed and appreciated. So thanks for whatever that's worth, but it was really nice to hear, so.
Thank you. Anything else? Chief, anything down there you guys want to add? I'm waiting for you one of these times to just jump in and tell us something.
Well, I'm excited. We're going to be swearing in a new officer tomorrow, so we didn't make the cut for tonight's meeting, but you'll be hearing from me at the next meeting with some good news on that front.
Great, that's great.
And that puts us how many away from being fully staffed?
That puts us one away from being fully staffed. I sent a formal employment offer to the final person today who just cleared background and was approved by the Board of Police Commissioners, so in theory, I might have 2 people for you next month, and we will be fully staffed. Yeah.
That's great.
And fully staffed, relatively speaking, the fully staffed has fluctuated for quite a long time, where fully staffed was short, but considered fully staffed. Now we're back up to.
Yep, we will be at our fully authorized 21.
Yep.
Correct.
First time in 4 years,
Yeah.
ballpark? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Don't
knock on
jinx
wood.
us.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Anything else?
I want to thank the police, fire, and public works for the weather that we've had. I know there was a really bad accident this morning southbound on the Edens that I'm sure you guys were involved with, but just in general, seeing you guys out and about in this bad weather, in the snow conditions, and again, Public Works did a fantastic job clearing the streets. And, you know, it's one thing to have the snow, but when it's 10 degrees, 0, 20 below, that's not the wind chill, those are the temperatures. In some cases, it really makes it difficult. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
your staff for all their fine work and being out there protecting us and serving us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else from anybody in the public? All right, may I have a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Someone. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.